Welcome to James Hates Everything and our first ever must-see Thursdays. And tonight we have a fun one for you. We got a couple big pieces of news we have to talk about and get out of the way. And then, of course, we're going to have the big rumble with 19K Fox and Chaotic BPR. So let's bring in Fox first, because Chaotic's show just ended and he's running a little late. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, James. I appreciate it, man. James, who's mildly annoyed at some things. I don't think you hate anything.
Pretty much all things. So I'll start out asking the question that is on everybody's mind. What is Fox drinking tonight?
I just polished off the last of the bullet bourbon, so it's done, which means tomorrow I got to go shopping.
Uh-oh. Excellent. Well, as we're waiting for Chaotic, I thought it would be good. And I just want to thank everybody first for dropping by, of course. And a special shout out to Kevin Clausen, who showed up way early to drop a $2 super chat, so early that YouTube threw his comment in the trash. So can't bring it up for you, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it said, but I'm sure it was something about how awesome I am and how grateful he is that we're on Thursday nights now. I'm positive that's what it was. So everybody else, Jason, moderator extraordinaire, is here. Mike Hockert's here. We got Brooklyn Menace in the house, as always. Love it when you drop by. And I played a crap ton of VR today, but I can't tell you what I played for several days. Jason S. is in the house, who's really, really hoping Double Dragon becomes a reality that we can actually purchase. NASA Canes fan is here with his popcorn ready, hopefully not to throw at the screen. And of course, Danny is in the house, who wants to get nuts for some reason. Meatball Saucy is raiding probably from Chaotic and Six's awesome stream, talking about that new retro Primal Carnage table, which I am skipping this time around. You you interested in virtual pinball at all, Fox?
Absolutely. And I've been on the fence for quite some time. I think that may change very soon.
Excellent.
I'll just leave it at that.
We got Paul Mindeman, of course, in the house.
What's up, Paul?
Everybody knows he is obsessed with Arcade 1-Up. So what is he going to do given the state of that company?
Save a lot of money. That's what he's going to do.
And then, of course, Ted Adam Green, always nice to see you. Stock Jock is in the house. Saved by Zero's here, and we could go on and on. Fourth Horseman, thanks for dropping by. Trying to get through, and let's just bring up this fun stuff. So you guys have probably seen this already. Of course, I know, Fox, you dropped a video on this just a little bit or earlier today. I don't know how many hours ago it was. But I watched your video, and I know P-Dubs dropped a video on this. Of course, Mike was the first one to go live, the Game Genie, on this last night. What are your thoughts on this monstrosity?
You know, I'll say this. Most of the sting is gone. It all started for me with Fast and Furious, the downhill slide for this company. And there were a few sparks that got me back in. But I think a lot of us who've been paying attention have seen this coming for quite some time. However, that being said, this is shockingly bad. I mean, it's a regression in so many different... Think about this. It's like someone sitting down and saying, hey, what's the worst thing we could possibly do? And then someone says, 16:9 monitor, and let's take some of the games out, and let's get rid of the coin door that people like. That lit marquee, throw that away. And what else can we do? All right, let's redesign it just enough to where it costs us so much money to redesign this.
Oh,
We have to redo the riser. We have to redo the box. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. It's not like they stripped some things away and sold it for cheaper. They redesigned it radically to be less successful. And I mean, that's, to me, I think about the effort it takes to do this, to build this. I mean, look at the seam. I mean, we're not even talking about a one-piece
yeah.
side panel. Like there's
I
so
just
much they
saw
had
that.
they re-engineered the cabinet to make it worse. They spent more money to make less money.
Yeah, that's why I zoomed in. I just saw
Yeah.
the seam. Like,
Oh, it's
this is like a seam on
crazy.
a deluxe, but it's only the 3/4 scale. What are they doing?
I don't know.
Like,
It's like let's make it smaller. Okay, yeah, sure, but if we re-engineer it, guys, that's more costs. We have to retool. I mean, and I'm sure you have some experience, or some of the goings on with production and manufacturing. If you radically change a product, the shape of the cabinets and all that, you have to retool. Something in your
oh yeah.
manufacturing process has to change. It's not just changing up the side art. They've structurally radically changed this cabinet, and it's shocking.
Well, and fresh from his show, Chaotic BPR is in the house. Thanks
What's up,
for
Brian? How
dropping
you
by.
doing?
Good, 19K Box. How are you?
This guy. What do you think about what you're seeing, man? Tell me your thoughts.
I jumped in as soon as y'all was talking about the seam. I ain't even seen the seam before. So it's a countercade on top of a 3/4 scale, on top of a add a riser, make it almost full scale. What are we doing here?
That sure seems like that's the case, right? And this is the old style, so it doesn't light up marquee. And we're literally back to that shark fin, which is so weird, right? I'm stunned. And obviously, like you pointed out in your video, the glaring thing here is this screen, right? 15.6, which means you get less than a 13-inch playable area. Just a weird decision.
I don't. It does when you think about it. When you think about the guts underneath, and we've all put a ton of these cabinets together, all the way back to Big Blue. And I see, Brian, I see you got one in the background. That first time we had to stack those side panels, the metal plates for reinforcement, all that costs money. And the fact that they couldn't just regress to the point where it was one piece of wood. They're still stacking. And you got to reinforce, and you got to do all that stuff. It's all the wrong decisions made. And then the fact that they had to, let's go with a cheaper monitor, but now they have to rebezel all that. All that has to be redesigned. There's more artwork involved. I mean, there's completely different bracing for a radically different size monitor. It's just so many changes to give us something that's so much worse than we've already had.
Yeah, and on top of all those reductions, right, they've taken games away. So you're down to 13 games. And obviously, it seems like that's because with the smaller monitor, the few 4x3 games they had in there would be what, like 9 inches?
Yeah.
It would have looked completely ridiculous. But that goes into the cost of production, right? They clearly had to go back. They had to create a whole new build out for these ROMs, right? A whole new UI, whole PCB basically, obviously using the same hardware, but all different software and stuff. So like the production cost of this makes you wonder how much money they're actually saving by doing all these cuts. But this is the thing that freaks me out the most. like look how ridiculous.
It's almost as thin as he is.
Yeah, I know. It looks so ridiculous. And of course, it's got to have the kickstand on that riser, or this thing will tip over. It's just, it's nuts. It is that NBA Jam, but even worse. The Slim Kate NBA Jam.
It's a good point. Like you've lost there was so much wrong with the Slim Katie. They had to add the little footrest so the damn thing doesn't fall over when you play it. Now imagine that same slim design, but now we've stacked items on top of each other. We got the cabinet, we got the riser, and they're just held together with 4 screws. I mean, if they're still maintaining the same, build quality that we saw with the other cabinets. So it's just going to be that much more unstable.
Yeah, we get that inline riser now, so at least it looks good, I guess.
It's a good. I'll give them this, and I said this in my video. Imagine this is Gen 1. That's a good way to hide your riser, right? It's just black. It kind of blends in. You don't have to worry about getting a specific riser for a specific cabinet. Just make them all black, and it's fine. I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah, 100%. It's a smart way to blend that riser, not to have to produce 50 different colored risers, right? Or in Arcade 1-Up's case, 3. But the irritating thing, which we've beat to death, I think, at this point, ever since the original leak, was that they just stole this design from the Pixel Bash. And it would have been nice if they actually, came out with their own. But obviously the Pixel Bash is Namco, so maybe they gave them permission to steal the design and use it on their other cabs. But it works for what it's trying to do, and it's not a horrible look. It's just not the right look, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a nice ass desk back there, and he'd rather play on Mrs. Pac-Man.
This is the other thing I found really interesting, right? So the package looks good. I think we've all kind of talked about they're actually getting really good at their packaging now, right? Now that it's too late, their packages, ever since I think like Golden Tee Deluxe came out, they got really good at package design. And they have these really colorful, stand out, look professional products. But for the first time ever on an Arcade 1-Up product that I'm aware of, they're doing a cross sell on the box, right? To show you what other products they have. And it's the whopping 3, right? There's nothing else. So I found that extremely interesting.
Collect them all.
Yeah. They're
all 3
doing it. And they only
trifecta.
3. It should be noted they're not trying to sell any of the deluxes that they have in the market. They're only selling these 3 things on here.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting from that standpoint. Of course, just in case you were worried that.
Oh my God, that's so fake. It's so fake.
Yeah, it fits perfectly in that picture, doesn't it? And of course, here's a better view of the 16:9 monitor on Mortal Kombat. So, you've got that faux bezel.
They're using the full potential of the 15.6 monitor in here.
Yeah, exactly. So before we go to the next thing, which I'll bring up here in a minute, I know we had a $9.99 super chat from NASA Canes fan who says, 19K Fox, what is your view on pole position and turbo as home arcade once?
NASA Canes fan, great question. I think that listening to the community is something that Arcade 1-Up has not done in quite some time. I think this is just 2 great games to add to a giant list of games that we've been asking for a long time. I think that's where a company like Basic Fun can come in. Arcade 1-Up has artificially set the bar so low that it's like anybody can jump in with some kind of an offering and throw pole position on. I mean, my arcade, for God's sakes, did pole position. Like you could take that and upscale that just a little, and you can actually make a splash in the home arcade segment now, because it's just the competition just isn't there. It just isn't there, and it's on one hand, the silver lining is because the barrier is so low, anybody can jump in, and I hope that we can get some of these titles that are arcade classics, but are something of a risk for a company to maybe put out there, because now we're making cheaper cabinets. I guess that's, if you're looking for a silver lining, maybe that's it. But beyond that, no, great games. let's just hope that somebody's willing to put them out and do them right.
Yeah. Yeah. And we heard, of course, on the basic fun thing that they have some sort of driving cab in the works for 2026. It would be, I think, awesome if it was pole position, but it might not be. So let's hope DMAC convinces my arcade to get into the deluxe and XL line of products. Something I know he is working on. So that would be awesome. So let's take a look at, I got one more thing with Arcade 1UP because I thought this was kind of interesting. And I think I'll just show it in the same thing. So I was contemplating whether to change the program. But so this is a TikTok or Instagram that they released yesterday. So they are, for those who don't know, they're at this Shop Talk, which is this retail expo. And I think this is the third one they've done in a row. They did 2 last year and they're back here. So they don't do CES. They don't do any of the big retro gaming conventions. They don't do a bunch of the Comic-Cons or San Diego Comic-Con or any of the other ones. They're not going to be at Cleveland Gaming Classic. They're at Shop Talk and they're actively selling these, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. So you'll notice behind this guy is this giant wall. So it's the backdrop to their booth, and it's a pretty big booth. So this is a I don't know what you'd call it, point of sale or whatever marketing material for this booth that couldn't have been cheap. Yeah. And because it is very big and it's not just some kind of banner, it's a big production wall. And what they've done is listed all of their licenses across the top, right? So this is their big marketing push to all the people at this convention about why you should carry Arcade 1UPs in your retail store. And of course, they're leading off here with Miss Pac-Man, but so forget all the commotion in the front, right? Pay attention to what's back there so we can see what we're looking forward to from this company.
Pac-Man. This is Pac-Man. Galaga.
Yeah, notice these are all last year's and the year before's cabs. They're not selling those classic SEs. This is going on literally right now, this convention. So there you see Galaga. We saw regular Pac-Man. There's the Infinity game table. We got some Mortal Kombat. Right here, I think that's NBA Jam right there. And you'll see over this guy's shoulder. Can you tell what that logo is? I know it's really small and I can't really zoom in.
No.
But that is the Big Buck Hunter Pro, I believe, logo.
Finally.
Yes. And as we paint it's Golden Teeth. Golden Teeth still in there, right? So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So there you basically saw, right? That was Pac-Man, which we know, the Miss Pac-Man, the NBA Jam, Golden Tee, which is Incredible Technologies, the Infinity game table, and then Big Buck Hunter. And I hear that the reason they still have Big Buck Hunter is that they have a really good relationship with that specific development team at Raw Thrills. That's the rumors I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. And so while they may not have any other Raw Thrills stuff anymore, they do still have Big Buck Hunter specifically. So I think this at least confirms they still have Golden Tee, which is one I was questioning whether they made it through the year with Incredible Technologies or not. But that's it. There's no Capcom. There's no longer Marvel versus Capcom. So they've lost the Disney side of that because apparently they may have had a license specifically just for that combination of characters. But now it's no Atari, of course, which we've talked about with that lawsuit. It's all gone. That's it. So now you see the cross sale. Well, it makes sense, right? They've got that, 2 sports titles and an Infinity game table. So very, we are definitely in the final throes of this company.
Yeah.
What do you think about about those licenses? It's embarrassing.
Brian, what do you think, man?
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. It's finally the end, right?
I think so. Yeah. How many it's over videos or I'm done videos have we seen? And it was like, whatever. I think you're right, man.
Yeah, it's completely over with, man. So like, a good riddance, honestly. Like, let's move on to the next one and see who can pick up the torch and continue running with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm anxious to see some passion back in this, not just the community, because the passion's always been there as far as the community is concerned. We've always been passionate, speaking up. I want this, I want that. You could do this, you could do that, offering all kinds of, constructive criticism. Not just we hate this, we hate that. There's hater channels out there, sure, but there's a lot of people that have just said, okay, I can accept this if we could maybe do this or change that.
Yeah.
But to see a company come back or come onto the scene with an enthusiasm, trying to earn our business. That's what we haven't seen in a very long time. I mean, RK1UP stopped talking to all of us. Like, nobody. Like, they just don't care about us anymore. And that's been obvious. And that's, it's been, it is what it is. But I think it shows up in the products that they're giving us right now. So that's what I'm most excited about. Basic Fun, Iconic, whoever. I want a company to come out and try to get our business again, because, I think that's what we want. And I think it's going to lead to a successful, nostalgic product that old guys like us are going to be excited about, Yes.
Yeah. And it's I don't even remember what I was going to say. Like, I started saying it and it went away. And I know it was the most piffy thing in the history of comments, and it's just gone. So you guys missed out.
Greatness is denied.
At least have one positive thing that we can talk about that maybe is a little more exciting in light of the bad news, or the watching a company we all care about, or not the company itself, but the products, like, go the way of the dodo bird. Yep. And that's this leak from today. So you can always count on Canada screwing things up a little bit. And in this case, Best Buy Canada inadvertently leaked the pre-order date for the Nintendo Switch 2. And this is something that has been rumored, but thanks to Best Buy Canada, we now know that pre-orders will go live on the same day as the Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's next week. That's just in a few days.
Wow.
You're going to have to get ready for a surprise launch at the end of that Nintendo Direct.
Wednesday.
So be ready to shell out your money. Are you guys planning on getting a Switch 2? Are you going to try to get in on the pre-orders at all?
I'll try to get in on the pre-order because I was very, very, very late into the Switch game, like, this past year, and I absolutely loved it ever since I got into it. So now I'm definitely interested in Switch 2, especially after seeing that new Metroid Prime. Finally, Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah,
huge fan of Metroid. So yeah, I'm definitely into that.
Similar to what Brian said, I got kind of late into the game as far as the Switch is concerned. My kids, my youngest is 17, so they were very much getting all the latest consoles and stuff, so kind of at the point now where I could kind of get into something. And the Switch is something that they had, but then the Switch OLED came out, and that's when I got on board. And I was like, well, maybe I'm going to get one for myself because I travel so much. It's just such a slick console, man. Yeah. It just really is. It's not a gimmick. And it's that OLED screen really kind of, because they made it a little bigger, right? Mm-hmm. Increase the quality of the monitor or the screen. So all good. That's basically what the Switch 2 is. Like, we're going to bigger screen, better processor, all that. I'm excited, but I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm good. I'm going to wait and chill and let everybody else kind of get it. And I want to watch your reviews and all that and get excited. And then I'll wait till Switch 2.5 comes out or something.
The OLED version of Switch 2.
OLED or whatever. Yeah.
I actually was also fairly late to the Switch. And I have to admit that was because I'm one of like 4 people in the entire country that like the Wii U. And all those games were out on the Wii U. right when Switch launched, like,
Right.
and I was playing on my tablet on the couch, watching other stuff, right? I didn't see any reason to get a Switch because it's like, hey, mine already does that, looks phenomenal, and I can just sit in the same room and play while the wife's watching or the kids watching or whatever.
Right.
But then I finally broke down and picked one up. I said, it's been out for several years at this point. I might as well pick one up. And then I was like, damn it. I wish I'd have bought it on day one. Right.
I know.
And so now it's like this time I'm like, I'm definitely going to try to buy it on day one. Because while at the same time, I feel like it's probably not a huge change, right? It's very much just the next, hey, now we have larger screen, a little bit better graphics. It's doesn't feel like it's going to be a huge game changer, but I'm hoping we get pleasantly surprised and there's some big features that haven't been leaked, because Lord knows this has been Nintendo's worst kept secret, I think, ever.
Yeah.
Like, everything is out about it. Kevin Clausen says, a $2 super chat, agree or disagree, Fox hates XL sized cabs.
I don't understand. Where is this, Kevin? Where is this misinformation coming from? I think he's probably mad because I'm currently selling my last XL cabinet.
Yeah, you're finally getting rid of all the one-ups because you have I
still have two.
Oh,
I still have two. Yeah, I have two. It's funny. So it's the first one I ever got. My wife bought me my Ninja Turtles. I still have that.
Yeah.
One. The very first new cabinet I ever got. I got a used Street Fighter 2 before. But so I'm keeping that one right forever, right? Till it breaks, whatever. T2. T2.
Yeah.
It's like I figured I would have sold it a long time ago, but it's just one of those games. It didn't break down on me, number one. So that's good. I like it. It always gets play when people come in. I just like, I'm keeping it. So
yeah, and you've modified yours up.
You've done some
painted the guns and all that with good
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, I've done a couple things to it. I got two more big mods coming, and then another video about that. So,
nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping that one.
NASA Canes fan, and again with another $10 super chat, says, James, when Arcade 1-Up gives up, what will you do with your hat? Well, I will bronze it because it'll be a collector's item.
Auction it off to the highest bidder.
Yeah, maybe when they go into bankruptcy, we can raise some funds for them.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Clausen with the $2 super chat says, I'll simp and give Fox super chat so he can buy one.
I appreciate it. If you do that, Kevin, I will buy one and I'll do a review.
There you go.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Do you think they are going to do an XL at Costco this year?
Man,
or do you think they're out?
Brian, what do you think?
If they do one, it should be a Mrs. Pac-Man, right? It's what they've been promising.
You would think, but
Mrs. Pac-Man and Midway,
with that weird golden teeth.
What the hell? At this point, why not? Right?
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, I think Miss Pac-Man is the only thing in the queue that they could spit out real quick.
Yeah.
So it'll be my prediction is it's a 45th anniversary. So. And it'll be Miss Pac-Man, but it won't look anything like the Miss Pac-Man we want.
Yeah.
It'll be that weird ass. Yeah. And actually, it'll be Pac-Man because they probably won't do a 45th anniversary Miss Pac-Man because Pac-Man's the one having the anniversary. But who knows? Or it could be a Miss Pac-Man / Big Buck Hunter.
There you go.
I think that makes the most sense. Yeah.
And then we got a $1.99 super chat from KFB says, are you guys doing a live reaction on 4/2? I believe I am off that day, but I haven't decided if I'll do live. I'll probably digest it a little bit. But I'm still thinking about it.
I haven't decided. I might, I don't know if I'll do a live stream, but I might jump on somebody else's live stream if they're doing it. Yeah.
All right, let's get. Oh, there's another one. Stringer Films jumping in here with a $2 super chat says, I use my Switch for Dark Forces and old Star Wars games.
Nothing wrong with that.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of the main things I do with mine as well. I have when the limited runs would release them, I'd pick up all the Star Wars ones as they came out. And then, of course, then they released them in collections and stores for far less money. So
Yeah,
That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
and see, that's one thing that
early
actually
adopters.
drove me to the Nintendo Switch is it got me back into physical game collecting again.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's the best thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Is and what I like about those companies like Limited Run with Switch is they give you really great digital only games in a physical format, which is
Exactly.
even though I'm not a big fan of their business model, I do like that we get that opportunity to actually own some of those.
If you want physical games, you're gonna have to pay a penalty, and the penalty is waiting. Like I pre-order my games physical, they come out like 2 months digitally, so you're not gonna get. If you're doing it for YouTube and content, you can't do that. It's a bad business model. You need to go digital and get the stuff right away. But I just want to have physical copies of these games. So like Rita's Revenge or Rita's Rewind, the Power Rangers game, it's PS5. I'll get it in a couple months, when nobody else is talking about it. But I'll have a physical copy.
Yeah.
Same thing with
some of them. Go ahead. Sorry, Kay.
I was just saying, same thing with the Marvel Fighting Collection that came out recently.
Absolutely.
3 months later, now they got physicals out.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I wish they would release that beat 'em up collection physical too, the Capcom beat 'em up collection. But it's only digital, I believe.
Yeah, they didn't do that physical. No, yeah, it sucks.
Penny Arcade says, just happy I got my Walmart 225 Deluxe Miss Pac-Man. Oh yes, the accidentally on purpose warehouse error.
Whoops.
Yeah. Again, another move I'm sure that cost Arcade 1-Up tons of money with their great negotiating skills. All right, so let's get to the main event. So let's move into agree or disagree. And this is where the fun animation would play if I had a budget. So it does not. So the way this works, the way this works is I will read some sort of controversial or polarizing statement. It is not an opinion necessarily of the show or myself, but it's designed to get discussion going. And so when I read the statement, basically all of us will either kind of give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or you can say agree or disagree. And if you're the odd person out, we'll just start with you. You kind of defend your position or explain why. And that's just meant to grease the wheel of some interesting conversations. So we'll start easy, I believe. And let's just start with an easy non-arcade or video game related question or statement, whatever. Star Wars should abandon everything post Return of the Jedi, including the prequels, and completely reboot the entire universe. I'm saying yes.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna have a hard time disagreeing with you, but go ahead.
Well, for me, I never been a fan of the prequels. I think the Star Wars died when they started the prequels, and
no, you can't say
that. Like everything they told us in Star Wars and Empire and Return of the Jedi never happened in the prequels. Where was Darth Vader running across killing all the Jedi instead of just a bunch of stormtroopers killing them? Where was, all these things we were promised about the Clone Wars? None of that happened. That was all retconned. And I got one word: midi-chlorians. I rest my case.
All right, that's tough to make. I will say this: they could have fixed everything if Attack of the Clones would have been the first movie in the prequel. Like we didn't need Kid Anakin.
Correct. Yeah.
We didn't need pod racing. I like the movie. I like those movies. I like them all. They're fine because they're George Lucas's original vision. But if they could have backed that up and had, hey, there's Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're fighting. It's Clone Wars, wide open. That's the first movie. Then you have the turn in the second movie. And the third movie is, like you said, Darth Vader being evil, wrecking shop. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that definitely would have been better. It also made more sense on the love story, right? When you meet Anakin, he's a little kid.
Yeah,
And you're
it's a
like,
little.
this
Yeah,
is
it's a little weird.
weird that she's in love with this little kid.
It's a
Like,
little weird.
you know,
Just
she
like
was
9
what,
years younger than me,
20 at
whatever,
the
no big deal.
time. You know,
Yeah,
it didn't
it's
make any
space. It's fine. There's no
There's no
rules in
laws.
space. But beyond the prequels, everything else is fair game. I'm with
Yeah.
you on everything else. You can get rid of everything else, and I'm good.
What about you, Chaotic?
I'm the same way, man. Like, I enjoyed the prequels. Did not so much the later stuff, man. Like, I was like, oh, cool, y'all are redoing the story again, but with different names and different characters. Cool.
And none
It's
of
nothing.
none of the hero's journey, right? It's just
Yeah, y'all made
instantly a badass.
y'all made Luke into an asshole. Awesome.
Great. Take my hero and just destroy him.
And
That's all.
y'all killed Han Solo. Spoiler alert. Damn it, man.
Each movie, they killed a hero in every single movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, why couldn't they just be on a high council in robes, sitting there, not doing nothing? It's okay. I'm fine with that. It's okay. They're alive. They're there. They have all their stories. They don't have to be the main character. But for God's sakes, you don't have to kill them.
You don't have to kill him.
Yeah.
And then the ending of the last one was just what the hell? They ran like it's like they ran out of budget money.
Man, I got a headache watching that last movie. I don't even know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah.
And
That's
Chewie
what
got a
happens
medal, and I don't know what the.
when they let Ryan Johnson like ruin the entire movie. And then they had to go back and be like, all right, we got to now tell 3 movies in one film because he screwed everything up, which means we had to take all this time to undo what he did, retell the story we wanted him to tell, and then get to the end. It was just terrible.
But we just wrapped up 10 years of Marvel doing it right. Continual story, all the movies making sense, minus freaking Captain Marvel. But beyond that, everything making sense, culminating in a climax. Boom, we're done.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars comes out and just like falls apart in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first movie series.
Well, that's true.
Possibly.
True.
Let's see. Yeah, because obviously Lando kicks ass and stays around.
Oh yeah. He lives.
All right, so let's go to more, bring it back into more home arcade, but a little positive one. And that is Wonderland's Pinball Kickstarter will surpass $1 million in backers.
Yeah.
Oh, James, come on.
So it's already at like 6.5, 650,000. And the way Kickstarters go is they heavy at the beginning and heavy at the last minute.
Okay.
So I think the steady incline shows that they'll hit there. The caveat I would say to that is if this weekend does not go well for them, they may not even may fall down quickly, right?
Yeah,
I'm doing a quick double check to see where they're at now.
I was about to say I don't see them getting over 800K.
Yeah.
I'd say April 10th, 800K or less.
So right now, with 13 days left, they are at $630,000.
Yeah, so it's been at that for a couple days. So it's kind of in that stall phase.
Yeah.
But I think there's a large contingent of people waiting on the sidelines, right? That they want to see this gameplay with the
that's a good point too.
going, the music, the sound effects, the voiceovers, and that's supposedly what we're seeing, at least partially, this weekend. So I think that's a make or break.
Oh, I'm getting some information now about it. Actually,
I'm glad it was able to hit its goal so quickly, but I'm also glad that it's continued to gain steam and be over 600,000 for its current backers right now. But for it to hit that huge influx, people are waiting for game code, DMD, game sounds, call outs. How well is the flow of the game?
Yeah.
They need to see proof.
Did you, Brian, or did you back this one, or are you backing it?
I was backer number 41, 44,
Nice.
44.
Yeah, I have no idea what backer number I was, but I tried to go as quickly as possible. But I know other people were right out of the gate, so we'll see. I'm still taking a wait and see attitude. I want to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Right? Not committed until the clock ticks away at the end, right? So
Yeah.
Did you have any interest in the Wonderland Fox at all, or
No, not really. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy real pinball, but it's like, to me, it's, I don't know. I'm more of a video game guy, like,
Right.
you know, digital content, and the great thing about a virtual pinball machine is all the different tables. If you get bored, it's okay. Play something else. The barrier of entry for me is like you're gonna have to play this. You're gonna
Right.
like, I don't even know if another review is gonna really do it for you. You're gonna have to physically play this game to see if you even like it. And if you don't, oh my God, I mean, you're done. You know,
Yep.
you hear where you just spent, you know, $1,000 on essentially one game. Now, I have made some bad mistakes. Bad decisions have been made. So I've spent a lot of money on one game, but I've never spent $1,000 on one game. So that's a tough one.
Yeah, I you know, for me, it's like this is the cheapest it's ever going to get, right? So that was kind of like the thought process.
Yeah.
I have zero desire to own a real one because I look at that. I mean, somebody gives me one or I win one like Stock Jock, I will gladly have one. but I look at it and I'm like, man, 15 grand for one of these. That's at $1 a play, let's say. That means I got to play this thing 15, you know, 1,000 times to get my money out of it.
I'm getting reminded. Okay, I did pay almost $6 grand for Star Wars Battle Pod. Okay, I take that back. I guess what I'm trying to say. That's fair. That's right. But there's more than one level. I don't know. I think that it just, pinball is it's cool. It's nostalgic. It's fun to play in a pinball hall or an arcade. But for me, I've never understood just spending that much money on a pinball machine. I don't get it. So for me, I was excited to see them do well for the people that want it. But for me, I'm just happy. I would be happy with a V pin. I'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, see, like the thing with real pin is you can't just have one, or you're gonna get bored as shit of it in like 2 weeks.
There you go.
You're gonna have to have at least 3. I mean, or you could be like Mikey 2 pins, you know, and have 2 and be okay with that for a little while. But the thing is, like, there's a lot of people, like, I'm pretty sure, I think, James, you said you loved X-Men pinball machine.
Actually, I did not like that one very much.
Good.
But
I totally agree.
I like Iron Maiden. I thought was awesome. There's some great ones. I really liked the Avatar, which other people didn't. You know, I think was it you that liked Avatar as well, Fox? I think a couple people liked Avatar, but
I liked Avatar. I got a pretty big score with Avatar. I hated X-Men when I first played it, but the second game was really fun. So I don't. Maybe
I think it depends on how good a game you have.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just I'm not the target audience.
I wasn't feeling X-Men. I think there's 2 things for me that were wrong with it. And it wasn't so much the danger room thing, though I felt like that extra area didn't really add anything. It was just kind of a gimmick that then eats up space on the table. But for me, I don't know. I'm too close to the comic industry, I think.
Yeah.
And so while I think like didn't Zombie Eddie do the art or somebody like that on there, it was just like I realize he does a lot of art for Stern, and I have no problem with that. But when you're doing a comic IP, you should have hired a comic artist. There are iconic X-Men artists that should have been used for that. And I'm telling you, when something costs 15 grand, the cost for those artists is minuscule compared. Like I know what comic artists make, even the big ones, and it's not like they're not becoming millionaires being comic artists, right? So it would have been really affordable for them to commission the art from an iconic artist on those tables, and it would have looked great. But but still, it's I'm also not a huge X-Men fan to begin with. Like Marvel for me is like Spider-Man and Hulk and X-Men is just too many characters. I don't like me personally, I don't like when they shove a bunch of characters together. Avengers, you know why Avengers worked so well? Because Marvel did one movie at a time with one character and built up each character. This is why DC fails, because DC goes, let's make a DC movie. Let's put Superman in it. Let's put Guy Gardner in it. Let's put Mephisto in it. Let's put like
everybody
throwing in all these characters.
Who the hell is
it's
that?
like you have zero time to build up anybody's background and story or anything.
Yeah, that's what Marvel did a great job of. They introduced these characters, they gave them their own movie, they built them up. We felt we got attached to the actors and this universe before you put them all together. Yeah.
Right. And then you can focus on just the villain side of the story when you do the big conglomerate, because you don't have to waste time with any of the characters. Because what are you going to spend? A movie's only 2 hours, 3 hours. In a world where we get like basically 10-hour movies now, every TV show is like a giant 10-hour movie.
Good point.
Like you have no time to waste. You have to do it right. And DC just continues to fail.
Yeah.
All righty. So let's convert to another home arcade product that I think lots of people are excited about. And that's, of course, the Glenn's Back Foo. And so here's the take. A full Glintendo conversion for the Back Foo, meaning the cabinet, all the things you need to make it a Nintendo cab, will be over $2,000. All right, Brian.
Oh, shit. Okay, so his goal for a plain FU, like the 26 inch screen or is the 19 inch
or the 19-inch rotator.
Okay, rotator screen. Yep. Okay, his goal though is to be under $1,000, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I mean I don't own a Build-A-Cade. I don't know like how much that stuff is when it comes to like Sabos and the little extra kit and the artwork kit and all that kind of stuff. But I just figured if he's going to try to stick below $1,000, art kits usually around, if you buy it from say like Escape Pod or somewhere, it's like roughly 150 to $200, right? Even for a full size cab, it's like no more than 225. So I'm thinking like, how hard is it to get like a plexi with the extra piece, screw it in or whatever? How much could that actually be? And a 1-player control panel, or maybe a 2-player control panel with just like 1 or 2 simple buttons. Like, could you see that costing an extra $1,000? I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't think it's gonna blow it out of the water, but I think it's gonna be close. I'm curious to see what this extension piece is going to be, because the curvature has to match his cabinet perfectly.
Yeah.
It's got to look right. And then if you're going to put artwork on top of that, you want that seam to be tight. So you're going to want to buy it from Glenn. So a couple $100 shipping, let's say it's $250. You're absolutely right. Good graphics packages, $300, is probably the max you would spend based on whoever you go with. The marquee, that's going to be something that's hit or miss. Marquees, I tell you what, the longer I've done this, the more I've learned. You really got to take your time and find somebody that's going to do a good reverse printed marquee to really make it pop. Absolutely. But hopefully it's good enough. It's part of the package. And then the hardware, the control panel. I mean, it's like anything. How far do you want to go? You're going to have, I mean, just to find some ROMs, you're going to have to put some kind of little PC inside there to run these ROMs. I mean, it's not like you can just buy some. I mean, if you go super cheap and try to get like a Pandora's box, there's no Nintendo games on a Pandora's box. You got to do some work, right?
Right.
I think it could absolutely creep up a little bit past 1,000.
Yes, so I believe it comes with the arcade, like the Viper board thing with the arcade
Right.
software on it.
Okay.
So technically, that should be able to run any Nintendo ROM, and the arcade allows you to directly download the ROMs. You don't even have to go hunt
Okay.
for them.
Okay.
So the software hardware part, I think you'd be covered in the cost, but I do still think, like you're saying, like the marquee is going to be pricey for a good one. And that's assuming you don't go for the bit LCD, right? Which is going to be even more
Right.
expensive.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and keep in mind you're having to go to different vendors for all these different things, right?
Shipping
So
for each one. Yeah.
yeah, you're probably going to want to go to Zabo's because he's the one that's going to have the perfect measurements all ready to go, and then you're going to pay more and wait more. So you got to get those shipped. Then I don't think Glenn is selling the middle piece. I think you have to go to, he's working with another company to provide the conversion adapter
Oh.
because he doesn't want to get in trouble with Nintendo, right? So somebody else has to sell that piece.
Okay.
And so that's gonna, because then now you have to have that shipped. You have to buy that from somebody.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the control panel, of the control panels he's announced, I don't remember seeing a single player, like Nintendo style control panel or a punch out control panel or anything like that. So now you're looking at, I might have to also have a custom control panel made, on top of that. So me personally, I think it's going to be really close to that $2,000 mark. Whether it goes over or not, that's nitpicky. But I think to get the full Glintendo treatment, which is the one I want,
That's
we're
the one
looking at that much. And at that point, I'm like, well, I see a lot of Nintendo cabs out there that are, restored, and I don't think they come right around there to have been there a little less.
Yeah.
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 Replicas.
There's people remaking the cabinets. Yeah. Yeah. Prince Arcade is one that comes to mind. He's always on Facebook. He remakes those things, and they're 1-to-1 replica cabinets.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do think Glenn's cab is going to be fully featured and have all the bells and whistles. So I do think the people that aren't wanting to go all the way the Nintendo design are going to get a really good value, especially, in light of what competitors are going to be priced at, And Fox, do you actually own any multicades? Like true multicades, like something like the ALU or the
No, not yet. I've built some multicades, using a PC, using like a PlayStation 3, but no, as far as like someone
pre-purchased one,
pre-bought, no, a pre-built, no, I haven't. I don't own any of that. So,
Brian, you have an ALU, right? Do you have any other ones?
I had a Raspberry Pi. I remember I had a NHL Open Ice that was a NBA Jam. I put a Pi in it, turned it into an NHL Open Ice, and I just made it all sports titles.
Yeah. I guess the first one that I owned was a Street Fighter. I had a Dynamo HS5, and then I put a Pandora's box in it.
Right.
So that was my first like multicade. Yeah.
And then my T2 is a multicade shooter. I put the retro shooter.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah. I need to do that on the Ridge Racer.
Mm-hmm.
I did the mystery encoder on the T2, which is the not mystery encoder because it wasn't him. It was the it was what was his name before he left Team Encoder? I can't think of his name. Misdirection, I think.
Agents
Misdirection.
Yeah. That was kind of like that was it works good. I can play all those games, but the failure rate was extremely high. So unfortunately for a lot of people, it didn't end up working. But yeah, so yeah, I personally have never bought a pre-purchased multicade. So if I end up buying Glenn's, that's probably the first one. I mean, I have that X Arcade thing. I've had PCs and things that can emulate every kind of game you can think of, right? Like we all have, but I've never actually bought like a pure designed multicade. Obviously, Arcade 1-Ups are mini multicades, but they're more, to me, they're more replicas. It's more about the replica look and feel than a true multicade, but
We can kiss that goodbye.
yeah, I know.
That's gone.
It just means they're all going to be worth a lot of money, right? Because you can't
Yes,
buy them anymore.
That's right. That's right. Millions.
I know what I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. This is an interesting one. I'm trying to be careful not to get Brian in any kind of trouble related to at games with some of these statements. So,
My opinions are my own.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Brian works with at games. So,
I just can't speculate.
correct. so you might not answer this one, but with at games releasing all the Zen Williams tables at the beginning of the year that were slated for the end of the year, which is what appears to be happening. The second half of 2025 will be a disappointment for 4KP owners. And you abstain.
I can't say.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't expect you to have an idea. And I get you can't talk on it.
Mm-mm.
But thoughts, Fox, on around that at all?
Yeah, no, I think it's without giving too much away. I've been, like I said, I've been on the fence for a while. I've made a decision. Anxious to get involved. It depends on when you get in, like everything else. So if you were to jump in right now or in a couple months from now, you're going to be playing catch up. So you'll be, and there's a ton of good games out there. There's a ton of cool like tie-ins, and I'm a huge Knight Rider fan. So like all those Universal tables, like that's, I mean, I'm a sucker. I am. Fun. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So there's a lot to be playing catch up on. So I think those people that are buying now probably aren't going to be disappointed. But as far as people that have had it for a while, I think there's a potential that it could be disappointing. But then again, it's only March.
So I do want to say this. Honestly, when that Zen calendar came out, I was honestly disappointed because I would have to wait so long to get Medieval Madness.
100%.
And then when they pushed it so far up, I was like, yeah, dude, this is exactly what I wanted, man. So,
sign me up. Yeah.
I'm good now. I'm
definitely not criticizing getting the Williams tables early, because that's what I wanted to.
That's what you want.
Same thing. I looked at it and like, holy crap, you got like 2 or 3 months of nothing but Star Wars.
Yeah.
And all the Williams tables are like in the second half of the year. But now with Star Wars seemingly vanishing or being moved or whatever, and it, to me, it always felt like the better strategy would be to spread all that out, right?
Yeah, right.
Give us some Star Wars, give us some Williams, give us some sprinkle it out instead of bunching it together. But and so that's obviously, and also in full fairness to at games, they have a full suite of other things coming out, from Magic Pixel, from themselves, right? And so they have a whole bunch of stuff still coming throughout the entire year, like multiple things seems like almost every week. So there's still other things to be excited for. But for me personally, I bought the thing for the Williams tables. And so it's like, I'm looking at it, it's like, yeah, all these great tables, these are the ones I wanted, but damn it, what is going to come out at the
I know.
And they didn't announce when that calendar came out, they didn't announce anything past August.
Right.
Because they didn't want to give anything up. And I took it as in they didn't want to give anything away of what could be coming. And like I said, now that the calendar's like been shot because of what
now we have no idea.
Now we have no idea. So now it's just all clueless. We have no idea what's coming. Don't even know what the next pack is coming out. We don't know what's coming out in April, and we'll find that out on Monday, but who knows what you could be getting. So you could either be super disappointed monthly or super happy monthly. Just depends on what they decide they can bring out.
Yeah, I hope they move Funhouse up. I really, really want that one to drop. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. Pac-Man is still fun to play.
No, I don't like Pac-Man.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Mrs. Pac-Man.
Honestly, to me, all of them are kind of like wrapped up together. I just don't. They're fine.
Mrs.
Like,
Pac-Man has less annoying sounds to me.
well,
Pac-Man's
that's
like
definitely true.
Yeah.
It's really funny to me that Arcade 1-Up's entire business is built around Pac-Man because it's just so repetitive that it's a fun game, it's a challenging game, but I have zero desire to play it,
Yes.
right? So yeah, it's interesting just to see if you guys felt the same way about that one or not.
100%. Yep.
100%.
How about this one? We're gonna go more some console stuff. Sega will announce a new gaming console for release in 2027.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Oh, I don't think they'll do it.
I gotta.
So
As much as I would love it.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say
okay.
yes.
Go ahead.
So as you know, they've pulled all of their titles from all the different vendors and shops, and they've announced that they're leaning heavily into their old IPs.
Yes.
And they've announced all those games.
All those old games. Yeah.
I've shared gameplay footage and stuff from Crazy Taxi, the new Crazy Taxi, that has been completed for a while, but is not scheduled to come out until 2027. And so I'm thinking personally that they did all that to build a back catalog to release a Switch style system, console system. Now, it's just a wild ass guess on my part. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's releasing one of those. Microsoft, Sony's announced a new handheld. Rumors that's coming. Everybody's doing it. And why else pull all that stuff unless you are going to bundle it in your own service on your own console?
Could it be the Dreamcast Cloud?
Yeah, it could be.
Could it be the
obviously
Nomad
they
2?
Sega Saturn 2?
Back, right?
That's what I want.
So it's just I want to see it happen, as the Xbox versus PlayStation war comes to an end and Xbox, basically gives up on hardware.
Yep.
I kind of want Sega to reignite Nintendo versus Sega war.
Oh, if you're talking about desire, yes. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, I would absolutely love it and I would buy it. Whatever it looks like.
I'm just curious about their strategy, right? It's they're going heavily into all this stuff, and why pull all those back unless you were planning something? It may be just a service, right? But it's a service they would have to work with all those other people to deliver, which they could do. Xbox is doing it. But do they have a catalog that people would subscribe to? It's not like they've been cranking out. They crank out a new Sonic game and a new Persona 5 or whatever every so often. Right. They don't really have much of anything else. I guess that they're not all called Persona 5, but you know what I mean?
I guess to your point, like, look what Nintendo has done. They've basically put these game consoles together that are underpowered, but they have some kind of a niche, some kind of a weird gimmick. Yeah. But the strength is definitely their catalog of games and their IP. Mm-hmm. So if they were able to bring that back in the house and Streets of Rage 5 or something, becomes a thing. I mean, they could lean into these things. I mean, listen, Shinobi looks absolutely awesome. That new Shinobi side-scrolling game, that looks great. The stuff I saw from, like the Crazy Taxi, that looks good. I mean, if they were to actually take some of these arcade classics that they haven't even really continue the Outrun series, do an Outrun 3 or something. I don't know. I mean, just take that stuff and run with it. Virtua Fighter, I mean,
Afterburner.
Yeah, they have a massive
Afterburner.
Massive IP collection that they've just let languish, right? As they focused on one or two things. And with the success of Sonic, right? Sonic is more popular than ever. They just got to harness it better. And I think it, I don't give it a high percentage, but I do think there's a chance that they're going to come out with something copying Nintendo.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, It's
Mhm.
a,
I
le-
will
a,
Not be mad at that. I would not be
non-zero
mad.
chance.
Yeah. 0.1%.
Okay. Let's see here. The handheld market, because I know Fox, you're a handheld guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many handhelds you have, Brian,
I
but
got a shitload of Ambernicks.
there you go. so the handheld market is oversaturated and there's no room for innovation anymore.
I mean, what's
Yeah, I'm gonna.
yeah, I'm just gonna just a second. I want to hear you say something. Then.
God damn it!
Yep, sorry.
Got him.
I was thinking about thumbs up in it, but then I was like, got to be something somebody can do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's always going to be something you can innovate, like a little more power or whatever. But I mean, truly, at this point, what is there left to do? You have FPGA, you have recreations, Ambernick of almost every retro console, from the PSP to the. I guess I took it upstairs to the Game Boy SP. You've got, the Switch. Obviously, you've got all these PC handhelds now, like. And everybody has one. So going back to everybody's releasing
Handheld, baby.
a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck or, Xbox with theirs and PlayStation with their, like everybody's doing it. Like, is there really any room for any more handhelds? Like, how many handhelds can we own?
Apparently
I think,
not enough.
Exactly. Yeah. The fact that, I mean, look around. I mean, look in your own arcades and game rooms. Like, there's something about handheld gaming that is just enticed us since the freaking first Game Boy. There's something about just having a device in your hand and playing the games. And it's been a winner every single time they try it. I mean, few people have failed. Sega, they got over their skis a couple times. SNK with their little pocket, they kind of missed the mark. Yeah, it wasn't good.
The Unico.
Oh no, I'm not even talking about that atrocity, that just abomination. We won't even discuss that. I was talking about the SNK pocket from.
Oh, yeah, okay, the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Yeah, without the backlit screen, that's where they kind of messed up, I think, because it's tiny. You had the Sega Game Gear, so that you had some backlight. No, I think that there's well, look, the success of the Switch is the reason. Like, I mean, that whole thing is. It is innovation, and I think you just take that to the next level. I mean, you keep pushing beyond. I mean, you have foldable screens or resizable screens. You have shooters. I mean, Sinden built into the actual Joy-Cons. I mean, so you're literally taking any game you could possibly want to play on the go. I mean, there's ways to incorporate different types of controllers. I mean, there's innovation. I'm not saying it's wide open for innovation. It would be a challenge to make something different. But you could do something. They can do something cool.
I think most of the innovation right now is coming into, like, how small can you get a graphics card into these things?
Yeah.
Can you add AI upscaling into it and that kind of stuff? And that a lot of people are saying that's pretty much what the Switch 2 is going to have, so that it can bridge that gap. That its new graphics card is going to have AI, so that it's able to do that upscaling and actually make the I guess the Switch 2 life cycle last longer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Even though this was super long for a life cycle.
Using DLSS or what, because they're heavy in bed with the NVIDIA.
Oh yeah.
So we're a little over an hour and wanted to try to keep this near an hour. So we'll do one more. And this is the part of the show that Michael B's been waiting for. In fact, he said we would get there earlier today in the stream, saying, when do we get to the crazy?
He should have waited around.
So Canada will become the United States' 51st state.
Oh shit. No.
We've got Alaska. We're good. Is
it safe to say I think we're good at 50?
Yeah, it's a nice round number. It's fine.
Easy way to make a country hate you.
I always laugh because I've said this to Mike and others, like if you know, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, I'm not trying to be political, but in general, if you're a Democrat, the right idea is to back that strategy of Trump's, because Canada's super lefty. And if you want to win every election in the United States from here to eternity, you bring Canada in as a 51st through the 53rd state or whatever.
Absolutely. Think of all the representatives and Congress people they would pick up. I mean, it'd be crazy. Yeah.
All the electoral votes.
Ritual Del.
Yeah, exactly.
Build a bigger wall.
Georgia or Dakota. I like that too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I always joke like, you know, if we really wanted Canada to be the 51st state, we just buy you from England. So
yeah, pennies on the dollar.
Buy stuff, you'd be nuts to want us.
You'd fit right in, fellows. You'd fit right in.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. I mean, Canada and the United States are so, like, you know, big brother, little brother, or however you want to look at it. We've been siblings in the world for since the foundations of each other. So
I mean,
it's
Canada
fun
would love
to poke fun at those Canadians.
Well, they would love
most siblings love each other, but in the end, also hate each other.
Yeah. You got to fight every once in a while, so that. But if somebody goes picks on our little brother, then we're going to be there and like, you know,
exactly.
We can tease them, but you cannot, my friend.
There you go. That's correct.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Hope you had fun playing this goofy ass game.
Hell yeah.
You know, not so many controversial things. I do have a giant list. I definitely wanted to stay away from getting Brian into any trouble.
Hey. As long as you let me see the list next time on some of that kind of stuff, I'll be like, I could talk about that.
Well, part of it is like getting the candid reaction, right? So
that's the fun part.
So you know, most of the stuff I didn't, you know, even really have anything like, you know, controversial or anything about anybody to begin with, but you know, it's interesting. You know, I'd like to hear people's thoughts about the new 4K, you know, the ALU 4KP coming out, things like that. Like it's an interesting concept to me. I really am interested in seeing what hopefully they've brought more stuff to the table than we know about from a year and a half ago or whenever it was. And so I'm interested to see where it goes. You know, I know the design isn't, at least the shape doesn't appear to be what I'm too interested in. But at the same time, I've said before, I really want a big multi-cade for light guns, you know, a big 16x9 one, because I want to play modern light gun games, but I really want it to look like it belongs in my arcade.
I agree.
A 27-inch will do it.
Yeah. Well, I really want it. Did you see the one like they've sent to some of these YouTubers like last year? Like, you know, like 55, 65-inch ones that are just 4 players, 4 guns, like absolutely bonkers, but never buying one of those, just like I'm never buying a pinball machine.
Right there with you.
All right. Well, you guys have anything you want to shout out?
Hey, I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. I'll take some subs if you got some.
Excellent. Yeah, don't forget to obviously go over to their channels, and hopefully all these people with the blue wrenches are posting your guys's links in there. If not, I did put them in the description so you can jump over to their channels and subscribe. If you haven't already, what are you doing with your life? Let's go get Chaotic over 1,000, and Fox is on his way to, like, you know, 35,000.
Nah, someday. We'll get there.
Any big plans coming up? Right, I've heard rumors you guys might be going somewhere in the future.
Could that be Cleveland?
Possible. I don't know. Nothing ringing a bell. No permanent plans as of right now. But I think that's potentially, maybe it could happen. Sort of.
I mean, I'm definitely going to Southern Fried in Atlanta in July.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, it's in all seriousness, September's looking pretty good for Cleveland. I haven't made any official plans yet, but yeah, it might happen.
Hey, we'll be in your backyard. No problem.
There we go. There we
You
go.
heard it. All of Arcanes Anonymous is going to go stay at Fox's house and then commute to the con every day.
It's the right thing to do.
I'm
Yes.
first in line for the battle pod.
Sold.
And I saw you got your road blasters working. Are you keeping
Oh,
that, or is
God.
it going
No,
down?
it's not going anywhere. That has been a long journey. I'm now trying to pull the old footage from when I first bought the cabinet to put the video together. But yes, it has finally come to life, and it's glorious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't have anything else you want to shout out, I'll sign off. So you know what we do around here. If I can find the button. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining us and have fun.